What's up, guys? I want to welcome you back to another episode of Corey's Car Review. I ran across this guy in the Walmart parking lot doing donuts, and I was like, I need to talk to him, see if he'd join us for another episode. And he said, heck yeah, I'd love to. So here we are. Justin, I want to thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So this is just a regular C4 bed, is that right?
That's what a lot of people think when they see it. They think it's just a regular run-of-the-mill, $3,000, kind of clean C4. And then I grab a couple gears sideways by them, and they realize it's something a little bit different about this one.
Well, tell us what makes this one different than a regular Corvette.
Well, this is the ZR1, so there's quite a few things that are different, which we'll go over while we're walking around and going over everything on the car. A lot of the biggest difference in the ZR1 is the fact that it's 4 inches wider than your regular Corvette. The front tires are actually the same size as the regular C4 rear tires, so that makes it kind of fun.
That's pretty impressive. Let's walk around and we'll check it out. And you tell us some stats on this thing. This is a beautiful color. What color is this?
This is the Polo Green 2. Thought it kind of like a fancy color anyway.
Looks like it's a good looking car and it sounds good.
I spent about 2 years looking for one. I knew I wanted one since I was a little kid, since the old King of the Hill posters and stuff, you know, you get for reading scholastic books in elementary. So I always had that poster and knew, I was like, man, one day I want to have that, you know. And I just loved it because it was not like the newer ZR1s where anybody could buy them, or not so much anybody could buy them, but they just made a whole lot of them. You know, there was only just under 500 of these made, and only 36 of them in this color.
Oh, really?
So it made it kind of special in that aspect, I think.
I've never seen a ZR1 in this body style.
Me neither. The only one I've ever seen driving around is mine. I would like to see one driving around someday. Yeah. So if anybody out there watching this sees one and coming to Oklahoma City, hit me up.
That would be a fun video to capture.
Yeah, 2 out there.
Well, you were saying you said it was 4 inches wider.
That's correct.
And you were telling me earlier how to distinguish between that.
Yeah, one of the quickest ways to tell if you just got passed by a ZR1 or a regular one, you know, or if somebody's just, you know, put badges on one and we're trying to talk about how they got a ZR1 or something. On your typical C4, your reverse lights there will be touching your license plate, but on the ZR1, you can see that gap. That's how much wider this car is than your regular C4.
Yes, I didn't know that. That's pretty neat.
There's a lot of stuff just under the car that's different. Pretty much nothing transfers between the two cars at all, unfortunately. Like, I wish the windshield was not the way that it was, but you know, it's what makes this car cool, is the fact that so much different engineering went into it and just made it what it is.
Right. These cars are so cool. You were telling me about the offset on the wheels. We were talking about the regular ZR1 wheels and replica ZR1 wheels. You said you had some issues trying to get an authentic ZR1 wheel because of how big that offset is.
Yeah, that's right. See, I mean, a lot of wheels you can't fit your whole fist in there, and it's, you know, flush with this guy. A lot of the wheels, they'll have a lip right here, and you can just tell right off the bat that it's just a knockoff one, because the way that they set it up with this offset, it's just no other car has this offset. So you're kind of stuck with these wheels or shelling out real big bucks if
Right.
you want to have some custom wheels made.
Yeah.
But I mean, it would. Someday I'd like to throw coilovers on it and go with a little bit bigger wheel, I think. But I mean, it was designed this way, so
Right.
it works as it is. You know?
Well, and what makes this car so nice is it's original.
Yeah, the tires are the only thing that's updated on this car that would be from '94. So that's the only thing that would be giving it an edge over an all stock '94.
Yeah. Well, I know a lot of you are probably excited to look under the hood, so let's pop the hood and
See the biggest difference between
Yeah.
this one and a regular one. So here's the main reason that I went with a ZR1 over regular C4. The only, still to date, they have never put another one in any other Corvette that was dual overhead cam.
Wow.
So this is pretty.
This is the only one, huh?
Yep, these are the only ZR1s that were ever like that. This is the LT5, which they brought back. They're bringing the LT5 back, I guess. It's supercharged and crazy stuff. But no, this was the original LT5. It's pretty neat. It was built. It's actually kind of like back home. Isn't Stillwater super close to here?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this was built by Mercury Marine by hand, designed by Lotus in Stillwater.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so this thing's kind of made it back to its home
Who
again.
would have knew? Right here in Ponca City, Stillwater, Oklahoma.
It
Now
made its debut to Canada, and it's made its you know where it came from, where it was born.
Something we were talking about, which is super impressive for a '94, when you talk about the technology and everything. 405 horsepower from the factory. That's crazy numbers for a '94.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
was. And they actually, we dynoed it, and I dynoed just a little under 400 at the rear wheels. And I mean,
So it's
this
probably
is all
it's
stock.
Yeah, so they probably. I wonder how
really
much they underrated it.
Yeah. They did a really good job with it. And they all came, with the 6-speed. And I think they just did a good job of just transferring everything, to the back.
Yeah. So you said there were like around 480 or so '94 ZR1s?
That's right. And there's about like 36 in this color here.
Okay. That's not very many at all.
No. It's just, this is the main reason why I like just the engineering aspect and everything. Like I was telling you earlier, just the windshield, is special, and the fact that it's got a real special 3M coating on it that reflects pretty much all the heat, and that's the only way they were able to get air conditioning to fit inside this car.
Yeah.
They basically told the engineers, like, hey, you got to figure out something. We're gonna be cooking people in here,
Yeah.
So, and even though it is, really a factory track car, it has adjustable suspension. So I have 3 different settings. It electronically controls all your shocks on here, and it has a great touring mode, and it just rides like a Cadillac almost. I'm sure they brought Cadillac over and said, hey, give us a little bit of help here.
Yeah.
And on the way here from Edmond, I was getting 34 miles to the gallon.
Isn't that crazy?
And just put it in 6th gear, and it hums around about 1,800 RPM at 90 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And it's just sitting there idling pretty much.
I remember that with the SS Camaro I had in high school and the white one that I've got. You drop it down in 6th gear, and if you're not running 80 to 90 mile an hour, man, the RPMs just tank.
Yeah, there really are great just commuter drive around, go wherever cars.
And then when you want to light them up and have some fun, you can
really do it.
Yeah.
And they handle it.
Well, let's
You want to take a peek on the inside?
Yeah, let's look at the inside of it. All right, so now that we're inside, you mentioned that this came from Canada.
That's
originally. So can you tell us the difference on inside between like a U.S. version and a Canada version?
Yeah, the only thing that was actually different was just the instrument cluster layout, I guess, and it's just all done in Celsius. So it's just like you look down, you're like, oh my God, I got 550 psi of oil pressure. It's like, oh no, that's something of KPAs.
Yeah, you gotta.
So it took a little bit of adjusting to get used to that. Just figure out, where it normally is at.
Yeah, you got to do some research, figure out where the needles are normally, and then just make sure they stay there.
Yep. Okay, that's where they're normally at. Another difference that you can tell on a ZR1 to regular C4 is this special key right here. So without this guy, you've only got about 175 horsepower.
Really?
So I can just take that and be like, yeah, go ahead, go drive it, have fun. It'll barely even, you can dump the clutch and it just doesn't even want to do a burnout or anything, I think it cuts the fuel out at about 5,000 RPM.
Really?
Yeah. And it just defuels it a whole bunch.
That's the same technology that Dodge did with the Hellcat, with the different keys.
Right.
That, it's something else in 94.
Been around since 94.
Because I'd never even heard about that technology until the Hellcats came out and they did it. And you mentioned that with that key. I was like, that's just crazy, the engineering that went into this.
Way back when. Yeah. And it came with a hefty price tag, which is why 95 was the last year. I think things were really, emissions were restricting things. I also don't think the economy was just kind of hanging with where people had the money to spend all these, because back then this car sold new for a little over 106.
Wow.
And I bought it for 24. So it's kind of like, what better car can you get for $24,000 that's going to do what this thing does? And it's just the cool factor of it.
Yeah, and there's the racing history of it, and I like these the sticker
sides on there. And it actually has an incredible amount of storage. I mean, it's got a center storage area. Each one of these door panels, if you flip that little guy up, it's actually a huge.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Because there's no glove box here.
Oh, okay.
They couldn't. Okay. This wasn't going to work out, so they split the glove box and the doors.
That is pretty deep.
And then behind the seat, there's like a little storage compartment. All of them, like I said, were 6 speeds.
Which just makes, you can have an automatic in anything, but you have to throw a 6-speed in it. It's just, just
the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it just ups the cool factor, and you feel like you're
more in control.
Yeah.
I agree.
You have way more fun. And
yeah. You can just toss it sideways whenever you want. Just give it a little rev and a go, It came with CD and tape deck.
Oh, it has both of them.
Yeah, 94 and had CD, so. A lot of people don't even know what either of those are anymore.
The video I did on the Bonneville, I had it a 77, and my kids got on in there and they were looking at it, and I told them, I said, push on that radio, and it had the factory 8-track player. Well, my daughter is 8, she got in the back seat and she had her tablet, because we bought it in Wichita when we were driving home. We got like 2 miles outside of Wichita, and she goes, Dad, what's the Wi-Fi password?
Yeah.
So telling the kids they don't even know what a cassette is. They barely know what a CD is. And then you go back further to a cassette to an 8-track, and that just blows their mind.
They're just completely lost. Yeah. It was a neat car. I don't know a lot of the interior differences, other than I know everything was just top of the line in here. Like, it has the Bose stereo system in it and all that kind of stuff from back in the day. They kind of went overboard, try to make it luxury on the inside at the same time. Yeah. I think at that time they were really competing with this car against Ferrari and stuff like that, and so they had such nice interiors, so they were trying to keep up, and they did okay. It's still a Chevy, but you don't have to go and pay $124,000 to get one.
Yeah.
So that's what I think is cool, is that nowadays, there's a lot more people that can enjoy a car like this.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Well, we appreciate you showing this to us, and I know I would like to hear it again. How about we fire this up and
sounds good.
feels awesome.
Not too bad for a car that you can have the air conditioning on and
Oh yeah.
rides decent.
And then everybody looks at you. Oh, look at that. There's a
That thing's like 3 times as fast, you know. And
you know, you forget when you're not driving something like this normal, or you don't ride in something like this normal. Oh yeah, it makes it pretty good. You forget it doesn't take, you know, 700-800 horsepower for, you know, to have fun.
to have fun,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
still be quick.
You forget. You know, you hear cars like, well, it's 350 horsepower or 400 horsepower, 4 1/4. And you're like, well, that might be all right. And then you ride in it, and you're not used to it. You realize how much that is.
I think a lot of the time, like I don't know, me myself, it's a lot of trucks usually, right? We're always trying to hop up, especially 4-wheel drive trucks, the heaviest thing we can hop up. But even the cars nowadays, they weigh so much, even the Challengers and all that stuff.
Right.
And don't hold me to these numbers because I can't remember exactly what it was. But I want to say this is like 3,200 pounds. Like, it's just incredibly light.
Wow. Yeah.
So that 400 horsepower all of a sudden is a little more fun.
Yeah. Now you mentioned this has 40,000 miles.
Yeah, that's right. It does. 47,593.
Wow.
These drag radials hook up pretty good when they get warm.
Yeah.
Not too bad. Guys, I hope you like this video. Make sure you like, subscribe, you share it with all your friends so you can see other cool cars like this. That's what I want to tell you. Thanks for coming out. Have some fun with us, and what do you say we roll some smoke? Sounds like a good idea.
All right.
Appreciate you having me out here.